I'm Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life.
The dwarf planet Pluto, formerly known as Planet Pluto, might be getting its status back as a planet. Pluto was pulled from other planets in the solar system and lost its country club membership, at least by definition, a few years ago when Mike Brown demoted Pluto, citing that Pluto simply didn't meet all the requirements of a planet. Mary Bowerman of USA Today reports that a group of NASA scientists have proposed a new definition of planet that may lead the way for Pluto getting its complimentary gold card back. And for many people, this is long overdue, believing that Pluto was a planet because, well, why fix something that isn't broken? Pluto is one of the most beloved planets, and it's been argued by many that our love and affection for Pluto is quite simply enough to keep its status. And no one could agree more than principal investigator of NASA's New Horizons mission to Pluto, Alan Stern, who in 2015 told Business Insider that Pluto being demoted as a planet is complete bull stuff. Except he didn't say stuff. No, seriously, he really said that. Link in the description below. I'm all for Pluto being a planet again. Absolutely. The whole mess was nothing more than revisionism taken to a whole new level. Literally. And though no decision has been made at this time, it may be that we have a ninth planet in our solar system again.
People keep talking about how messed up today's youth are. Well, I'll tell you, it's actually our fault that today's youth are messed up. I mean, imagine this. You're coming home to do your homework. You share your homework with your mom and dad, and you say, "Mom and Dad, in science today, I learned that there are 8 planets in the solar system." And of course, mom and dad, not really knowing what's going on scientifically right now, they look at their kids and they say, "Little Bobby, little Susie, no, there are not 8 planets. There are 9 planets in the solar system." And of course, Bobby and Susie are really confused, so they go back to school and they say, Mr. Science Teacher, there are 9 planets in the solar system. And then Mr. Science Teacher says, "No, Bobby, no, Susie, there are 8 planets in the solar system." And then they go back home and they tell their parents that Mr. So-and-so said that there were 8 planets in the solar system. And the mom and dad say, "Well, that, I don't know where he went to college, but he's stupid. There are 9 planets in the solar system. I know that I got that A on that test." And then they go back to school, and then on the test, they don't want to hurt their parents' feelings. They don't want to hurt their teachers' feelings. And so what do they put down? They put down that there are like 8.5 planets in the solar system. No? That would have happened to me. I'm telling you, that would have confused me to death. And now we got all these kids running around. They don't know if there's 8 planets or 9 planets. And I'm not even sure why we even care. But that's a whole different point. You know, I bet there's even been divorces. You know, people fighting over whether or not Pluto should be a planet or it should be a dwarf planet. Can you imagine coming home, you and your wife are fighting about something, and maybe one person believes in the strict definition of a planet and the other person is kind of believes in the nostalgic definition that Pluto is a planet? Call the lawyers right now. Mike Brown, I'm blaming you, man. But now don't get me wrong. I want to see Pluto get its status back as a planet. At least we know it's there. We've actually flown a satellite there. And Bill Gates has a condo there, I think.
I always thought Pluto would be reconsidered as a full-fledged planet. Not because it meets any type of scientific definition, but because Pluto's a real popular planet. And it was a bad marketing decision to demote Pluto, even though I think Mike Brown is probably one of the smartest people in the entire universe. And he's right. Classically, Pluto doesn't qualify as a planet. But just because you're right doesn't mean you're always right. Sometimes it's best just to leave things alone, especially when you're trying to fund a space program. Earlier last week, though, NASA announced the discovery of 7 Earth-sized planets orbiting a single star. Moreover, these 7 planets are orbiting the habitable zone around their sun. Now, the habitable zone is an area around the star in which, according to NASA, planets are more likely to be rocky and have liquid water, like Earth. At least that's how things work here in our neighborhood. The buzz around NASA is that discovering these planets means the probability of life outside our solar system just increased, which means more money for Hollywood. Thomas Zurbuchen, Associate Administrator of the agency's Science Mission Directorate in Washington, said the discovery could be a significant piece in the puzzle of finding habitable environments, places that are conducive to life. Zurbuchen continued, answering the question, "Are we alone?" is a top science priority, and finding so many planets like these for the first time in the habitable zone is a remarkable step forward toward that goal. Okay, first, do you remember when you were a little kid, or maybe you did this to your own kids as a parent, and if you did, shame on you. Either way, imagine a little kid being told how exciting a trip to Aunt May's house is going to be, and that this trip is going to be amazing, and that It's time to celebrate and be happy. And the child, believing that his or her parents are telling them the truth, they begin to act excited until he or she gets to Aunt May's house and realizes Aunt May is okay, but I'm bored and I'm ready to go home. In short, the little kid feels like they've been conned, and that's kind of how I feel about this announcement. I know it sounds like I trash NASA a lot, and the truth is I admire the heck out of NASA. I just don't get NASA all the time. First of all, the star and planets to which NASA refers is 40 light years from the Earth. So, look, there's no road trip anytime soon to visit Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And yes, I just called those 7 planets dwarfs in honor of Mike Brown, who demoted Pluto. Slacker. Seriously, it's amazing that we believe these 7 planets 40 billion light years away are in a habitable zone. Wow, that's amazing! But I feel like I'm at Aunt May's house. And since every YouTube channel in the world, even 2 of my favorites, are acting all excited about this press release, I guess I'm supposed to act excited too. Thanks a lot, Tyler from Secure Team 10 and Mike from Beyond Science, 2 of my favorite space and weird stuff gurus. They just participated in giving me the old Aunt May routine in their positive response to this press release. But I declare pish posh. I declare a recount. Something. NASA had a press conference and everything for this news. Really? It's called the TRAPPIST-1 system, named after the telescope in Chile that made the discovery. Hashtag NASA doesn't understand marketing names. Anyway, the 7 exoplanets, that's what you call planets outside our solar system, exoplanets, well, they're located in the Aquarius constellation. And that's just great. Every occultist conspiracy nut in the world is going to jump all over this. Instead of flat Earth, it's now going to be something about Aquarius. I can even hear the 5th dimension. They're probably planning a reunion tour as we speak. Okay, by the way, if you're not into music from the 1960s and 1970s, the 5th Dimension was an awesome singing group who had several hits, one of which was from the musical Hair called The Age of Aquarius, in which they incorporated the song Let the Sun Shine In. I'm a big fan of the 5th Dimension. I've added links to their music in the description below. And no, this has nothing to do with NASA's announcement, except for the fact every time I hear the word Aquarius, I think about that song, and now it's just stuck in my head. Anyway, these planets are closer to their sun than Mercury is to our sun, so they're probably locked into a tidal orbit in such a way that one side of the planet faces the sun all the time, and that would make these planets not habitable. And these planets are really close together too. It's the 7 dwarfs. What do you expect? And just in case you're up on your exoplanet information, we can't actually see these planets. We observe the slight wobble of a star and then predict where the said planets are located by their wobble. There's a better sciencey way of describing these observations, but trust me, that sums it up. So the dance moves of a star 40 light years away is worth a press conference? I'm not saying it isn't cool or that the discovery isn't cool or anything. I'm just saying it's not worth a press conference. It's worth a YouTube video that I would watch, and I would even hit the like button, which I hope you're going to do right now on this channel. And while you're at it, if you don't care to subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. Anyway, looking for planets 40 light years away is great, but Mars is just a couple of blocks away, and we've been told there's water on Mars. The NASA press conference I want to see is we are going to Mars this year. It just seems to me that NASA has ADD. I mean, we think, water on Mars. And to me, there should be like a full court press to get to Mars to get samples of that briny substance that we think is water. I mean, that's where there's potential for life. And you know, it's in the neighborhood. You know, it's just down the road. You go to Moon, you know, where Neil and Buzz used to hang out back in 1969, speaking of the age of Aquarius. And then you just, you know, keep going for a while and, you know, hang out while you're going to Mars. It's a long trip, but you get there and we can do it. NASA, I believe in you. I know you can do this. But all of the stuff going on right now is at Mars, and the wobbly planet thing is cool. But a press conference? A press conference for a wobbly planet maybe that we can't even see? Come on, NASA. Come on. Mars is where it's at. Let's get to Mars. Let's hang out at Mars. Let's dig. Let's go get some samples. Come on, NASA. I know you got it in you. I think I'm going to write a theme song for NASA. That goes something like, NASA, you can do it if you try. No? I need to don't quit my day job? Okay.